All right, cool. So everyone, welcome to Shauni Chronicles. We've got Diante putting on hearts on his face. We got our co-host Diante Mershon Cooper. Today we have Mikkel Thomas, aka CJ Big Dog, and we have my brother Grambling Madise. He just goes by Madise because a lot of people don't know how to say his first name, but that's okay.
Gambling.
Gambling.
Hey, relax.
You want to get some drinks?
Want to get some drinks?
Hey, pan the camera. We also have his beautiful wife, Olivia Madise. She'll be saying some hot off the wall shit as well because we are gonna get toxic.
Oh, boy.
Cool. So, if you guys don't already know, these two right here were the ones that created that meme of me, spending a lot of money and getting 15 minutes.
Yep.
Ate his ass up.
Yeah. Without further ado, CJ, please give us your introduction and a little bit about yourself.
All right. As you said, Mikkel Thomas, go by CJ. What? 35, turned 36 here in a couple weeks.
420.
Okay, go fuck yourself. Currently living down here in Texas, and yeah, just working, enjoying life. Current Air Force TAC P, and yeah. Small introduction. Small introduction.
Tell us how you get to keep that nice beard as a TAC P in the Air Force.
I'll just do what I want. I just do what I want.
Yeah, like every loud podcast rolls up.
All right, Grambling. Who are you?
Rambling, or Madise, as everyone calls me.
Rambling.
Former Air Force dickhead, and now cop, still being a dickhead. But 30 years old,
Damn.
Still living life. One of the few married ones in the group. Figuring it out.
Cool.
Hey.
Cool. So, got the introductions. I want to ask you guys. You guys can chime in at any time. Diante, chime in if you have any questions for them. So, my first question for you both is, what does accountability mean to you?
I'm going to let you take this one first. Go ahead.
Nah, you can go first.
You about to throw me under the bus. That's crazy. Accountability. All right. I mean, it depends on what aspect we're talking about here. But for me personally, I mean, we've all been there. We've all, done our bullshit, made our mistakes, whatever. But pretty much just owning them. I mean, we've all been down that road. I can't say I'm alone in this. No, CJ. We've all been down that road. It is what it is. But I mean, we've done some fucked up stuff, definitely. But not all of it has been. I guess we haven't been the victim of all of it, right? Some of it's been our own doing, put ourselves in that spot. So, I mean, for me personally, like I said, accountability, it comes from, like, just owning your mistakes and the dark path we have gone down. So I'm going to let CJ take it from there.
CJ?
Yeah, no, I agree. As you said, we're not perfect. We all make mistakes and whatnot. Myself included. And accountability is you owning up to those. You own up to those. You taking the necessary steps to correct those mistakes, or get whatever help you need personally, to help better yourself and whatnot. Yeah, just not coming up with excuses, as everyone stated, just taking that ownership and owning up to your fuck ups.
Understood.
Let me add to it. So when you talk about mistakes, right?
Yep.
Did you mention mistakes and owning up to them? How have you seen that you respond when someone gives you that feedback, like, hey, you're fucking up in this aspect or this avenue of your life. This is where you're messing up. You need to do better. You need to be better. Like, how do you respond when receiving that kind of feedback?
Oh, I own it. Like, if I'm fucking up or anything and someone comes up and is like, yo, dude, like, you're dragging ass, You're not keeping up. You're not to the standard. You fucked up on this. You fucked up on that. Like, cool. I fucking take it and I adjust from there. Like, I'm not the type of person who's gonna sit here and be like, "Well, you're an asshole because you said this to me." No, like the type of personality that all of us have. Like, it's. I do think it's when it comes to those moments, it is kind of tough love because we do like to talk shit about each other a lot, but in those moments when we do fuck up, we do kind of say it in a way that's not, you know, we're not sugarcoating anything. We kind of call you out right then and there. And so when that hits you, like, or when someone says that to me, like, all right, cool, I'll take it, I'll adjust, I'll correct what I need to do, and push forward from there. So,
Yeah, I think that's important because that highlights a couple things. One is like all of us kind of share that same mindset, and that's kind of why we are in Shawnee's circle because we're not going to sit here and dwell on necessarily. One thing that I learned from the military was it's not how they say it, but what they say. And I think as a black man, sometimes that's kind of hard to digest because somebody come at you crazy, that pride starts to well up, and you're like, hold up now.
yeah.
Hold up now, you got a little too much dip on your chip. But I think in the military, it's taught us that somebody might come up to you and be like, "Hey, your fucking shoes are untied. Fucking fix yourself. You look like a bag of ass." And you could get really caught up on the fucking delivery, but there's still some relevance in that. There's still some fucking some information that's important that you need to take away from that, which is your uniform is messed up. You need to address that. So you can focus on how it was delivered, or you can focus on the actual message in that. And so I think that's what separates a lot of other people in the military and why we all get along so well is because we're not going to get caught up on necessarily deliver. We can be blunt, we can be straightforward, we can, sugarcoat it when we need to, but for the most part, we're just going to be straightforward and just be like, hey, you kind of fucked up, bro. Like, can't be flying girls out. You know what I'm saying? You can't be buying girls orders.
Can't be flying girls out, dropping a bag, and only getting 15 minutes.
That's because you got that OE pay. You got to kind of be a little smart with your funds. You do.
Are you guys done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
All right. Another question for the masses. You guys talking about accountability and how we take the hits, we shoot, get justified, and get back on target. Something that my buddy brought up, Josh Heath. You met Josh. A question that he's kind of brought up to me is, do you believe how we, take accountability for ourselves? Do you think that's a military thing? Because he made up a good point of, I would call him and he wouldn't call me back. And then he's like, yeah, dude, you'd call me. But then like a day goes by and you're already giving me shit for not calling you back if I post on social media. But if another friend called me who's not in the military, I could not call them back for a week and say, oh, hey, sorry, I was busy. What's good? And they're like, oh, it's okay. Like, do you think that's a military thing or?
I don't know if necessarily a military thing. I think it might be specifically with three of us in this chat right now. I think it could just be a TACP thing, right? Because like we are a career field built around communication, and so the same thing. If I'm trying to talk to somebody on the radio and I don't get an immediate response right then, I'm then checking to make sure that my shit's not fucked up, hitting them back to see if they just didn't get the message at that time, and then working through my pace plan on trying to get in touch with them. So I think it could kind of stem from that. So like I said, I don't think it's necessarily just like a military thing. But in that same token, I can say I do think that maybe the way we do hold each other accountable has something to do with the fact that we are in the military. So.
Different standard, would you say?
I think a little bit different. I think it also may play into like a culture too. Culturally, like if I hit you up and you out here doing this, that, and the third, and you ain't respond, like, damn, I see where I stand now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So culturally, sometimes I think there's a little bit of a separation. Some people's cultures, they're a little bit more relax with getting back, and I was busy, but you weren't too busy for posting a selfie on the ground.
Yep.
But you too busy to call me back. Okay, all right.
But you didn't invite me.
Tracking.
My phone must have not had service when you shot me that invite, because like I clearly didn't get an invite.
It's clearly nothing.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
I will say with my schedule, like with my job, I work the shitty hours of the night. So like Shauni will text me something. I might reply to the next day. It is what it is. Like I'll see his text come in, and then I'll be like call at work. And by the time like I get to some downtime, it's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. He already sleeps, so I'm not gonna reply till like a day or two after. So I mean, I will say though, it is possible. Hold on, shut up. Don't do that face. I will say though.
Fix your face.
Yeah, fix your face. I will say though, since it is on me because I can find that time between calls. But
You can't just text me and say you busy.
I put it as an assumption that you know that I'm already busy. You don't reply right away all the time.
You had time to drive all over the city looking for other people, but you couldn't just tell me you were busy.
It's an assumption. Y'all know what I do. So it's an assumption that y'all know that I'm busy. But I said that's on my end, assuming that y'all know that I'm busy, right?
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail right on the head. Like everybody's busy. You're busy. He's busy. I'm busy. Everyone's busy. And I think the difference in our culture is that like we know that everybody's fucking busy, but people gonna find the time for the things that's important to them. So if social media is important to you and that's something that you just own and that's your thing, you taking time. You got time if you're on social media to call somebody back just like you got time for social media, but that's what's important to you. So I look at it as that. It's like when someone doesn't get back to me and they're posting on social media, I'm like, okay, well, you can't say you don't have time or that you're busy. You just prioritize that over communicating to me, because I feel like people make time for what's important to them. And if getting back to me and our friendship's important to you, then you're going to call me first. And if it's not, you probably going to be scrolling on TikTok. And that's okay, I guess.
All right. I'm going to jump right into it because this is good. For the masses.
That smile, though.
For the masses, what is something a woman says that they want, but then when they finally receive it, they don't know how to handle it?
Well, we've talked about this. We talked about this before, so we're gonna let them chime in on this one. I'm gonna just sit back and listen.
I'll say the big one, effort. Right? That's the big one for me. Everybody wants effort, but when you put it in, it's like it's either it's too much, or it's not the same as somebody else, or you're overbearing,
or you're too
or
feminine.
You don't do it at all, right? Or yeah,
sassy.
In that case, too feminine,
don't be sassy,
whatever. And it's just one of those things you have to give, but when you give it, you gotta give it just right to that person. So, and it's all up in the air with that one, but I think that's like one of the biggest ones.
Effort.
Yeah.
Okay.
Effort. I feel like there's a lot I could say on this.
The platform is yours, dude. Diante and I said a secure man. We said a secure man because once a woman says, I want a secure man, I want a leader, I want this, we present it. But then it's like, don't tell me what to do. And it gets very combative and has a lot of friction points. I mean, like...
Well, what I hear from most of my female friends, like, or just listening to people talking and whatnot, a lot that I hear is like, oh, like, I want a good man. I want a good guy. Right? But what's the definition of a good guy? Because you can have, as you guys said, a dude who shows effort, a dude who's secure and whatnot. But when he goes and talks to him, there's something about it that they don't like, and then they push him aside for, the dude that's been out, in the streets for forever, that everyone knows about, and he's been around the entire group. So I think it's, like I said, it's a combination of that, but from what I've heard and what I can say is like a good man or a good guy. That's what I hear a lot.
Yeah, but then they get a good man and they say it's boring.
Yep.
It's boring. It's too quiet. We never do anything. We never go out. I'm trying to manipulate you and get you in your feelings, but you're not getting moved by that. You're not getting tore up. Like, man, I want a traditional man, but I don't want to bring traditional values to the table.
Yep.
All right.
Mm.
Damn.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up in the list of questions that I looked
We
this up.
taking spears today.
Yeah. So, who would the person be that you would like to hear "I'm proud of you" from?
Oh, that's easy. That's
Past,
for
present,
me.
future.
For me, that's my mom.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, little different situation than you guys. I don't know my sperm donor, as me and my mother call him. Never seen him. Don't have a memory of him whatsoever. Um, he's currently incarcerated. He's called ever since I was like, I don't know, 12. But to me, that's a voice over the phone. He'll try to, discipline me or tell my mom how to like discipline me. And she's just like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. So, for the longest time, it was me and my mom until my stepdad came into the picture. And that's the man that I call my dad. Regardless of how some other members of my family think, like he's the man who's raised me and I have memories of him as far back as I can think of, right? Him and I, we've had our differences, we've had our struggles. But like today, like I can say he's like one of my best friends. When it comes to my mom, like I said, like it's always been her, that I've been with and that I've been around. And so I just felt like, as a kid, I was constantly getting in trouble and she was the one that would discipline me. So I always felt like I let her down. Um, and so, you know, go out, I live my life, I joined the military and, become the man I am today. And like, I've heard her say it like a few times before. Like my dad said it to me too, that I'm proud of you. But like when my mom says it, like it hits home, a lot more. And it's that one thing that, I strive to do is just to make her proud. So.
All right, don't make us start crying now. All right, now. I got something to add to what you're saying, but I want to let my man go first before I say anything.
All right, so
you're in the hot seat.
Literally.
For me, I had a really weird dynamic growing up. My mom passed away when I was 2, so I didn't really ever get to meet my mom or have recollection of meeting my mom or know what she was like. My dad wasn't really around at all. I grew up with my grandma and my aunt, which we won't touch on that, I guess, right now. There's a lot to break down.
That's how we met.
But, we got time, brother.
That's how we met.
We got time today.
But I think biggest one, I was always kind of looking for my dad to kind of say those words. He always would play the victim card and the whole family dynamic and trying to take credit for what I was doing, but not be involved. He didn't come to my high school graduation, didn't come to, basic training graduation, flight school, law enforcement academy, none of that stuff. But he always wanted to take credit, posting on social media, oh, my son did this, or my son this, my son that. But he was never involved in any of it. And even now to this day, and I'm 30 years old, my dad spoke to me over a year. I mean, before my wedding last year, hadn't said a word to me. Didn't come to the wedding, had every excuse to why he couldn't come to the wedding. Just didn't talk to me, hasn't said a word to me. My birthday passed. He posted a generic post on Facebook, the ones that auto-generated, hey, birthday. And that was it. Didn't reply to that, just, didn't pay any mind. But then that's one I was always looking for is him to say, I'm proud of you or proud of who you become. Because I don't have many contact with my family, whether it's my mom's side or dad's side, But as much as I shouldn't, people always tell me hey, you shouldn't rely on him or shouldn't expect anything from him. I still kind of have that drive in my mind, one day he'll say something to me, kind of thing. So as for me, I always look for that response from him, which is probably wrong with me at this point. I'm 30 years old. If I didn't get it the last fucking 29 years, I'm not gonna get it now. But it is what it is.
Damn. To keep this snowball getting even bigger, I didn't answer this question when it was Diante's Inferno, But my answer to him on Instagram was, the person I'd like to hear "I'm proud of you" from would have to be my biological mother, Renee. And the reason for that is, as a young kid, which kind of led to me going in with my dads and the Doyles, is I felt like I always was hard on myself because I wanted to be seen. I was always the problem. If she had a bad day, I had a bad day. I was getting hit all the time. I was always told I'm not shit. I was always threatened, like, if you don't do this, like, I'm going to send you off to a boys' home in Chicago where your biological father's at. Never met my biological father. He was in prison for 27 years. He got out, I think, 2021 or 22. He was out for a year and a half. And now he violated parole and he's back in prison. Because I messaged him the last 2 years, like, happy birthday, because he's in Arizona. And I'm like, shit, I'm in New Mexico now. Let me try to hit this up. He's in fucking jail again. But to get back to what I was saying, biological mother, I think that's just one person I've always wanted to hear "I'm proud of you," because I've done so much shit, and I hate to say it, I've done so much shit to prove her wrong, because she's always told me I wasn't going to be shit. And so that kind of pushed me towards the TAC-P situation. That kind of pushed me towards jumping out of planes. That kind of pushed me towards getting on a fucking roller coaster, because I'm still afraid of roller coasters. But just having that.
Y'all heard it. Scared.
Oh, God.
Scared.
Oh, God. But I just kind of shoot for the moon, because at the end of the day, I know she sees what I'm doing, and I know she's going to hear about it. And my thing is, like, I want you to see what I'm doing and be like, fuck, I really fucked up, because he's a great kid and he's doing a lot despite his upbringing, right? Renee would be the person I'd like to hear "I'm proud of you."
Man. And listening to everybody kind of share their stories, and of course, I shared mine in the previous podcast and whatnot. So, people in the chat, everyone's watching this, want someone that's smart enough on psychology that can weigh in on this, because there's a trend here. Like, whether it's each one of us that shared our story and who we wanted to have be proud of us has always been like single parent, almost trying to fill that void. For me, Shauni, and CJ, it's like a mother figure. For us, whether it's a grandmother or an actual mother or whatever, it's been a mother figure that was that was in that role, and that's who we want it to hear those words come from. Some of us, like my grandmother passed, so I'm never going to get that those words, and some of the people that are alive still never going to get those. But I think we have 4 black men right here on the podcast right now, and
yes, I'm called black for once. Woo!
We got 3 black men on the podcast.
And Shauni.
And Shauni.
No, and I don't know, man. I would like someone to weigh in on that, and like kind of really dive into why that is. That maybe it has something to do with the fact that we all came from semi like broken homes, so to speak. I don't know. I feel like there's more there that we could definitely dive into. But yeah, chat. Let us know what y'all think. The reason we want to hear thank you from, or not thank you, but proud of you from, our single parents that kind of was, filling that role for us, whether for lack of better terms, whether they were there or not there or trying or doing the best they can, still left us wanting to hear that from them.
I know this is, a podcast for the audience, whatnot, but let me ask you this question. Do you think that since we seek for that mother figure, it might be a cultural thing? And the reason I say this is because with me growing up,
before he said the dad thing, that was what I was going to hit on. But then he said the dad, so I was like, okay, I can't really hit on that too much. But yeah, go ahead.
Because and the reason I ask this is, like growing up as a kid, with the fights that I would get into, if someone talked shit about my mom, even when I went to see her,
you don't talk stuff about my mom.
When someone would talk shit about my fucking mom, like that was the end of it.
Red.
I was at Sear, and we're doing the whole little like interview portion and shit. And the dude was like, "Oh, I see here in this newspaper article, it only mentions your mother. I see nothing about your father. I guess your mother was a whore." And I was like, instantly just fist balled up. And he was like, "Yo, academic situation?
Academic situation.
I need you to go stand in the corner. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and talk about it."
He put you in the corner, no.
And he came back and he was like, "Yo, so tell me what happened." I was like, "Listen here." I was like, "You can talk all the shit about me all you want. I don't care." I was like, "You can talk about my dad, whatever. I don't care. My mom, you don't talk about my fucking mom." And he was just like, "Okay. Uh, just know you probably gonna have to work on that, because if someone does that and you are kind of wherever, it might not end up badly. Well, if it doesn't, like, I'm taking somebody down with me. I don't care, but you don't talk about my mom." So that's why I kind of asked if maybe you think, that could be a reason why.
I feel like that may have something to do with it. Like I said, I didn't really share on this part, but I'll share a little bit. So for me, my biological mom's still alive, and we have somewhat of a relationship. But my grandmother raised me. I've been with her since birth. My mom was a struggling drug addict back then, and you know, I didn't get released to her from the hospital. So from birth, I was released to my grandmother, and she was that mother figure. But even with that, still have the utmost respect and love for my mom, my biological mom. Like, I want nothing but the best from her. And I don't know if that's a cultural thing, but like, I don't fault my moms for feel like, yes, I had my grandmother step in and it put me in the best situation. Shauni had his dad step in and that made him who he is. My grandmother made me who I am, and you are who you are because of your mom and your stepdad and same. So I feel like we get put in these positions and it made us who we are. And when I'm looking back at my mom specifically, I feel like she was doing the best she could with the knowledge she had back then, especially growing up in the 80s, the crack epidemic in Chicago. Like, she was a kid having kids and being I don't want to say trafficked, but like, she was being manipulated by older guys. She was a teenager. So it's like, looking back at that situation, if it was my daughter, like, I don't think my daughter could have made different decisions back then. I don't think my grandmother would have made different decisions if she was put in that situation. I don't think anybody put in that situation is gonna come out unscathed. You know what I mean? So I feel like, even though my mom, you know, made a lot of mistakes, I still love her and I still have the utmost respect from her. And I would do anything for her. Not anything. I would do a lot for her even to this day, just because I understand the cards that she was dealt, and I kind of give her a little bit of grace with that. And maybe that's similar to why all of us kind of want that same from the person that maybe wasn't there as much for us, or maybe um, did the best they can with what they had. You know what I mean?
What you said right there kind of brings me a question that I want to ask Madise. Based off of what we've been going through, right? What would your dad need to do right now to rekindle that relationship with you, for you to be like, all right, I understand what you did in the past, but like, I'm coming to you, son. I want to be better. How do I fix all the fuck ups that I've done for the 30 years of your life?
Got to show up and be consistent.
Number one is admitting the faults, right? Admitting where he went wrong. That's the biggest thing.
Accountability.
For him, now, is him admitting the fault for him, or is it for you?
Damn, that's a good one. I guess that would be more of a selfish thing. I guess more for me.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see, like, are you serious about it, right? Like, just can you put yourself in that weird position to admit that you've done wrong? And then from there, like CJ said, being consistent from that point on. Right? I'm cool with putting everything to the side, but don't waste my time, right? Don't try to come back into my life and then go back on the same bullshit 2 weeks later, or, a month later. Like, if you're gonna show back up, be consistent and mean what you say, and then we can move forward. I have no problem with that. But like right now, like I got married. He wasn't there for that. Like, my wife hasn't even met him. He's never seen her. He's talked to her like maybe over the phone before we got married for a few minutes. I say like a total of like maybe 10 minutes in the entire time we've been together. But it's like with me being married and then, want to have kids in the future, it's like if you want to be a part of that, you got to show up. You got to be consistent. You got to mean what you say. Because if not, I'd rather go through the rest of my life if I have, when we have kids, them know that you're a piece of shit and keep them at a distance versus you being there for a few minutes and then like 5 years from now they're wondering like, oh, where's grandpa, kind of thing, right? So there's consistency and admitting your wrongs.
So outside of us, because we're all military, right? So taking accountability is something that's inherently to us. But for Black men, coming to the table to admit our wrongs and say that and apologize, again, taking us out of the equation. But just for Black men as a whole, like that's a big pill to swallow, especially if it's something that you need, not necessarily something him. So my question is to you: what if he didn't give you that apology part, but he just showed up and started showing that he was being consistent and he was there, and his actions, would that be enough for you to allow him to come in, or do you need that apology?
I think the way you explained it, I think I can move past that if he showed up and was consistent with the, showed his actions were different. I think I can be okay with that and get past that. Would I like the apology? Yeah, but
we would all love the apology.
Right. But if he can show be consistent and show it's different this time, then yeah, I'm cool with that. It is what it is. But like I said, it's just one of those things for me. I'm like, one, can you acknowledge that you fucked up, right? Because I don't want to, 6 months from now, you're still playing victim of like, oh, well, I mean, you could have called me, or the phones work both ways. Yeah, the phone works both ways, but how much do I have to do to get you to do something too? You know what I mean? Like,
I keep showing up, but over so many times, that's too much. I can show up and show up and show up. Before long, it's like, hey, I'm pouring into this cup and I'm not getting nothing back. It's not being reciprocated. Yeah. No, I get that 100%.
So, is this better?
He's like, oh man, I have an iPhone 17.
I'm on my computer. All right, let's focus. All right, for the masses, what is an insecurity that you have that kind of causes friction in your modern day either relationships with a significant other or your friends?
So not necessarily a physical trait, but like a characteristic of something.
A carrot stick? A what? A carrot stick?
Say how do you say it? Let me hear you say it. Actually,
characteristics, not carrot sticks.
Yeah. What he said, y'all.
Yeah, that Kentucky public education is killing you, bro.
Listen, I never said that I was literate. Very illiterate over here. Reading and writing is not my thing. That's the answer to your question right there.
All right, so
about reading and writing.
All right, no, seriously.
That,
what's an insecurity that you kind of you deal with or you struggle with that might impact your friendships or your relationships?
Communication.
Expound.
I think sometimes I expect people to communicate at the same level as I communicate, or put in the same amount of effort. But that's kind of like setting them up for failure, and it's setting me up to be upset, because it's like an unspoken expectation that if I'm communicating to you and I'm putting in effort, that I would expect that back. But unless I voice that, sometimes that definitely gets me in trouble, because that's an unspoken expectation, and it can lead to them not meeting the mark because they didn't know there was a fucking mark, and me feeling like they let me down because they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. So sometimes that can get me, that can kind of fuck me up a little bit. So that's what I would say, communication for me, for sure.
What about you two?
I'll let CJ go with that one first.
Oh, God.
Madise, you gonna take any question first?
Yeah, bro. Can I call you?
What do you mean?
Sloppy seconds over
Can I call you Mista?
Hot seat, kinda.
Mister? May I call you Mister?
Why are you gay?
Pepe Julian
gay.
Ozima. Thank you for coming in. I mean, since he doesn't want to go, I'll say I don't know if it's necessarily an insecurity. I guess it is.
Yeah, own
but
that shit.
the we about to get deep.
Pause.
All 15 minutes, baby.
All 15 minutes of it. For me, I think the one thing that I worry about, that either my significant other or my friends see is that I view myself as I am a broken man.
Oh.
Mm.
I don't view you as a broken man.
I know. I kind of hinted at it at the start when we were talking about accountability and everything, but I had a moment during my deployment that um, you know didn't necessarily go the right way. That affected me for a very, very, very long time. That deployment was 2017, and I didn't finally seek help or talk to anyone until Madise. When did you get married?
Last year.
24.
Yeah, last year. So
25?
20.
25.
Yeah, so I didn't talk to anyone until the start of 2025 about it. And so a lot of that had to do with the fact that, one of the guys I was with just kind of told me, don't talk to anyone about it. I really looked up to that individual, and I'm not faulting him or anything like that. But I really respected him, so I took his advice. And when you're with the boys and we're trading war stories and everything, like obviously no one brings that up, or even if we do bring it up, it's something we drink about, whatever. No one really dives in and fully talks about it. Are you harping on specifically like PTSD or just mental health as more so just mental health instead of PTSD, because I don't have any PTSD from it. Like I'm gonna still go out and execute as I need to execute and whatnot. Like I don't none of that. Just more so like the mental toll that that hit me, for me just carrying that and not talking to somebody about it for so long. Brother, that still sounds like PTSD. I don't know. PTSD. It's just because you can go out and perform, but if you're still dealing with that mentally, I mean, today I'm not. Like I said, like when I went and actually talked to my therapist, like the very first time we talked, he asked me one question in particular, and him asking that question, it really opened my eyes to everything, and helped out tremendously with it all. I think like the big thing that like I was looking for from someone was just, saying like, hey, like I did the right thing, and not necessarily like that. You did. I did a bad thing. And like I don't, to this day, I don't think I did the wrong thing. There's several other factors that leads me to, or several other things that lead me to that decision. But just the fact of like, constantly having that there in the back of your mind and not talking to someone for so long, and like you just, it just sits there. That was a big thing. So, my bad. I mean, because we're taught to to internalize and bury it and suck it up, compartmentalize everything, and get the job done. And so I think you did the right thing, absolutely, in talking. And so when you talk about being broken specifically, are you meaning like you feel like a failure, or you feel like, how do you feel broken because you compartmentalized and because you didn't talk? Is that what made you feel broken, or what specifically? I think I felt broken because everything got to a point where like I couldn't contain it, or I couldn't manage it. Mm-hmm. Not that I was like very, self-destructive or anything like that and whatnot. Like I wasn't gonna go hurt myself or anything. But, as a current trend that, we've been having during this whole conversation is like, as a Black man, you 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 kind of feel like Atlas, and you move around with all the troubles, everyone's troubles, you're carrying it on your shoulders.
You know,
That's it.
um,
That's the part. So you felt broken by needing to go talk to someone else, and you felt
needing
like
needing to get
I
help.
couldn't carry my load, and now I'm broken because I had to go to sit. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not broken, brother. That's good on you for realizing that, hey, I'm at my limits. I need to talk to someone, and we need to normalize that. We need to normalize that. You're not broken. You needed to take a knee, and I think we do a good job of when you're a little palm colored, it's okay to go into these spaces and everything. But when you look like how we look, we don't we don't get that same grace when it comes to uh being a strong black man. Like you got to carry that. You got every room you walk into, everyone's looking at you. Every time you step out the house, everyone's looking at you. You got to mind your behaviors, mind what you say, mind your attitude. Don't get a little angry because they're gonna label you real fast as the angry black man. And then as a TAC P, don't get me going. Don't get me going because
Oh,
we can get
brother,
going in the
I got
military.
stories.
Yeah, we can get going in the military for sure. Like we our counterparts can do something way worse than us, and we could come in with a slightly similar case, but we handle ourselves a little bit differently, and we'll get ostracized. Oh man, you got an attitude problem. You're abrasive. You're hard to work with. You're this. You're that. So they're really quick to label us. So nah, man. To answer your question and to add to that, I just want you to know that you're not broken.
I appreciate
And actually you're smart, and we need to normalize that. When we do feel like we need to take a knee or we need to talk to someone, we need to normalize black men going to talk to people, talking to their brothers, but also going to talk to professionals to help us kind of offset some of that load. Yeah, because that's definitely not broken, so you shouldn't be insecure about that. But I'm not your therapist, so don't listen to me.
To piggyback off
But
him,
that's
though,
good
I
shit.
think that's what like anything. So like with me now being in law enforcement, like you're expected to handle a shitty situation and then move on, right? Like I can go from picking up someone's dead infant off the side of the road after a crash and dealing with the crazy shit, someone pulling a gun on me, someone shooting at me. And then an hour later, it's supposed to go to some call about, like, oh, my boyfriend took my damn Yeti cup. And it's supposed to be okay, right? Like, you're supposed to, like, oh, deal with that small issue. And then you're supposed to show up day after day after day and be normal. There is no, like, our sergeants don't reach out. They're like, after a certain call, you're like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, on the scene, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm fine. You're going to move on. You're not going to be like, oh, yeah, I feel like X, Y, Z. But you're expected to kind of handle yourself, and the next day, like, come back to do it again for another 12 hours. Then the next day after that, come back to do it again another 12 hours. And I think for me personally, like, a fear that I have is, like, opening up at work too much to where, like, I'm outcast, right? Like, oh, you're weak, or you can't handle the job, or, I go get help, and, they put me on light duty, right? They take my gun,
Yeah,
see my
put you on the
badge, and you're not.
desk. Yeah.
So, like, for me personally, I don't open up about anything. I do my job, I go home, and unfortunately, sometimes it gets to the point where, like, it affects, like, my relationship with my wife, right? But then you don't want to open up. Like, I don't want to open up to her either because, like, she, for me, it's like she goes through enough at work too, and with, like, school and all that stuff, I don't want to put my problems on her. So it's like
Yeah.
you kind of
Gotta
take
talk
the
to
chin and
somebody.
just move on, right? But then you're also the dickhead that you're closed off. You don't communicate. You don't talk about your problems, right? So it's like a catch-22, right? Like you're damn if you do, damn if you don't. So I've been in that spot like constantly, like over and over and over again. And like when it finally gets too much, you open up, but then it's exactly that. It's too much, right? It's a lot you
Yes,
hold on to,
fucking the
right? It all
floodgates open.
spills out at the wrong time on the
Yeah.
wrong person, and it escalates. And then now you got that on top of the shit you've been going through, right? So
Yeah.
I usually just stay quiet. That is just my thing. Like I don't bring shit home with me. I don't talk about it. I just act like it's another fucking day. It's part of the job. I expect to do it and just move on. And that's
Yeah.
just like you said. I think it's part of us being who we are, and then wanting to be that person that like shows that strength, right? Even though we may not have it. It is what it is. There's nothing wrong with admitting that you don't have it one day, but it's hard to do that.
But so you said you're 30. He's 35, about to be 36 with his old ass. I'm 35, about to be 36 with my old ass. Lean on the people in this flight, right? In this car right here, because like he mentioned before, he felt broken
In this car?
Shut the car. Shut the
In this
fuck up.
car?
That's why you fucking muted on my screen. I can't even say
In this car?
In this car. Anyways.
Beep beep.
Lean on people that's in this call, right? In this car, because he's in this car. You know what I'm saying? Lean on people in the car. Is
Stupid.
here. And what he said, right? He said he felt broken because he did share. And that's what we're saying. We need to normalize that because you absolutely should not take the stress of work and bring it home and then put it on your partner. So that's not fair. You need to leave work at work or find a way to decompress before you get home. So like being able to talk to your brothers, like don't call Sean because he'll fucking make fun of you because he's a fucking bitch. But you call me, call CJ, and we'll listen to you, and we're here, and Sean will listen to you too, and we're here for you, obviously. So like, don't ever feel like you need to keep carrying that load, no matter what it is. You need to get that out so that you can digest. Like that's the healthy process, and that's what I meant by normalizing that. Is you need to talk to somebody, whether it's a mentor, a friend that's in the car with you, us, call what I said earlier, or it's someone professional. You know what I mean? You definitely need to talk, but don't think you're gonna get out of it, dude. You didn't answer what your insecurity was either. We were still talking about CJ, so you still got to answer yours.
Hey, hold on. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, okay.
So when it comes to insecurities,
Take off your hat so we can see the insecurity.
Hey, yo, not him hat fishing. Golly.
Hey, look, bro.
He got that motherfucking chia pet on, dog. Chia.
Becky, did you right?
My shit kind of thinning up front, so we have to put it on.
Okay, LeBron James.
I think an insecurity of mine, and Deshaun, you've always done this. It's always been physical. It's never really been like anything else. It's always
your arm's so small.
See, here you go. He already knows. There you go. TJ knows.
Hey, just to let the chat know, my brother wanted to be a TAC P. I was going to the schoolhouse, and he was 100% gunning towards TAC P. But I'll let him speak on his piece right here.
I heard that before.
All right, real quick, before we get to that, before we get to this whole TAC P thing, my biggest insecurity is always going to be physical. Like, no matter what the scenario is, like whether it's hanging out with y'all or like, y'all you're talking about like going to the gym or what you can do or like, just anything physical. I always feel like I'm not going to be good enough in that realm, right? Like, I had a moment like, in the military, I went to the gym all the time. I, took the supplements, blah, blah, but I'm never going to be good enough for my standard, right? So that's always been an issue with me. Like, even when I was single, it was like, oh, yeah, I can go talk to this girl, but then they're going to be like, oh, you're not big enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, compared to who else, the other options you got, right?
What is the other option?
Like, even when I first got with my wife, like, when she's, we're dating for the first time, I'm like, well, she's probably talked to dudes that look way better than me. What the fuck am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, fuck. But to bring back the TAC P shit.
Hey, get it together. Lock it up, Chad. What y'all doing? Hey, let's go. What the fuck are y'all doing?
So
I'm a small boy.
The fucking TAC P thing. Yeah. So I had a desire, like I wanted to be TAC P. I wanted to follow his footsteps. Like it was a job that interested me. Like I fucking loved the whole idea of it. But
Whose
I was that like second thought in my head.
His footsteps?
Yeah, the dickhead at the top of the
screen. Oh my God, not that guy. Listen. In the big house? You gonna let him stay in the big house?
Listen, I ain't paying for putt-putting flights.
Listen. Nah, fuck that. Nah, leave her alone, dude. It's
not the putt-putt.
Hey, 15 minutes. I was putt-putting.
He said, let me show you. Let me teach you how to do the stroke. Let me teach you how to do the putt-putt stroke. I got you, girl.
I'm finna buzz.
But that's still like my thing is like I always have this like voice in my head of like, oh, you can't fucking do that. Like, it's a shitty thing to admit, but I always like I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to like anything like that. I'm like, well, I'm not built like this, or like, everyone does it. You watch the fucking schoolhouse videos, you watch the people that are going through or have gone through, you're like, oh, I'm not built like them. Like I can't fucking do this. So eventually I talked myself out of it, right? I just completely just got away from it. I was like, you know what? I'll find a different job. I'm going to do X, Y, Z because I'm not going to fucking make it. I don't want to go and fail. And it felt like failing was scarier than attempting, right? So that was why I backed out personally because I was like, I'm not going to fucking make it. I'm not built like them. I'm not.
Yeah, you weren't going to make it though.
Hey, and you know what? It is what it is. But
no, just kidding.
Hey, real
Nah,
shit
No,
though.
but so physical. That's something that you even today, like you were saying, your job now as a law enforcement officer, you still struggle with like fitting in sometimes. Like when you step into that room, like, do I deserve to be in this room? Should I be in this room? Will I be able to keep up? Will I be able to compete? Will I be able to perform? That's something that's you still struggle with, but.
And that's one thing, like, with my job now, it's like, I don't struggle as much because, like, with law enforcement, like, you got your guys that are, like, they're all about, like, fucking SWAT team, you know, special response teams, blah, blah, whatever. And there's the dudes that are fucking jacked, you know, they got whatever else fucking going on. We got some of the guys that are in the SWAT team for us, like, you know, former combat controllers and, you know, whatever. Hey, it is what it is. That's not my realm. But I know if I get into a fight on the street, I can hold my own. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to fucking just fold. Yeah, I fight people bigger than me. And for this job, you realize, like, it's not if you know how to fight or how strong you are, it's if you know how the human body works, right? So if you stay on top of that and knowing what to do in a situation and not give up, then yeah, you know, it's cool. Like, I've been in some shit. I am the black cloud of my fucking shift in this department, so everything that goes wrong happens to me every fucking time.
Damn.
That's what it is. But
you
just
phone
gotta
people
hold your own.
and they close, huh?
Yeah, but hey, look, I'll say this though. You ain't gonna find me holding the fucking 30-pound shield at a door on a standoff. It ain't gonna happen. I know my place, right? Like, when it comes to, I can hold a fucking rifle at a door for 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. But, you know, when it gets to the shield guy, I'm not that guy. I'm not built like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know my limits when it comes to the job. I can put myself in a position to, you know, fail somebody else or, you know, leave them hanging. But that's always going to be an insecurity of mine. It's like always going to be the physical every single time.
Got you. Yeah. So since I got some advice here, let me toss some advice your way. Leverage that age, old ass.
Listen to some of the things that you said during that. Something that helped me is I'm a never let another man make me feel some type of way about myself. And that's a statement that I've lived by my whole career. Things of like, you know, oh, I walk into a room. If somebody got a problem with me, that's their problem. That's not my problem. All I did was, I'm just here. I'm just existing, and you have an issue with me. That's you. That's not me. I'm never going to let another man make me feel some type of way about myself. And I think if you kind of like, you know, take that, embrace it, figure out what that means to you, that might help you out somewhat. Because, you know, I've seen you say like for you it's physical and like, oh, you know, you're not as big as the three of us, but like I've seen dudes who have made it.
You bitch. He said you small.
I did not say that. But anyway, I have seen dudes who, you know, are on the smaller size that can cut it. So like, you know, don't if you let another person make you feel some type of way about yourself, you've already lost that battle before it's even happened. So for me, like I'm saying, like if you take that saying and you figure out what that means to you and you own it, that might help out with that situation or that mindset.
What's that saying that they say to piggy hump off of what he said? What they say, comparison is a thief of joy, right? Comparison is a thief of joy. You know what I mean? Like if you out here comparing yourself to other people, it's gonna be hard sometimes. It's gonna look like an uphill battle. It's gonna look like you're not hitting the same metrics or the same standards. But it's like you putting in the work, man. Keep putting in the work. You know, and let your effort and your actions speak for itself. Don't compare yourself to anyone else because it'll steal the joy right out of you.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Sean, it's your turn for the insecurity because everyone else has shared. But let's keep it short because you get a little long-winded. So let's just
fucking video after
he
this
ain't
is
really
done.
long-winded if he only got 15 minutes.
hey,
Oh my god.
15 minutes.
All right. Oh my god. All right. So my insecurity, I think it's more so like it's a slash of insecurity in my character. And I kind of just had to deal with this the other day. One of my insecurities is I think I'm afraid to commit and love someone again because the last woman I've actually loved, I'd have to say it's the mother of my child. And the reason I say that is because she was the first girl that I brought back to my dad's. The first girl that I thought, wow, she actually sees me for who I am. And then it just fell apart. And ever since then, I've been trying to chase that person who will just accept me for who I am and not the gestures I can provide. Like, as you guys keep making fucking jokes, you know, Diante tried to hook me up, and that didn't last more than 24 hours.
It lasted 15 minutes.
So, hey, what I heard him say, women, is she caused all of this. The fuckboy you see before you today is Nicole's fault. We're gonna blame it on her. We're gonna blame it on her. It's her fault. She turned him into a villain. He's a menace, y'all.
It's not even that. Like, it's not even that. Like, being honest to myself. And truthfully, it's the insecurity of being enough for another woman to just accept me for who I am.
Very interesting that you say this. Because we talked when we FaceTimed yesterday. You know, we were talking and, you know, kind of bringing up how, you know, the you never change the playbook. You keep running the same plays. And it made me think, you know, I feel like you're too quick to introduce people to your passions or your hobbies in hopes that that will impress them or get them to like and accept you, rather than taking the time to get to know them and understand them before you introduce them to those things. And maybe that could help out a little bit. I don't know. I'm not a fucking relationship guru, as we all know, but maybe that could help, because it does seem.
Figure it out.
Huh? Huh?
It'll take you 10 years to figure it out.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. But yeah, just an observation that I had, that it was, like I said, very interesting that you said that, because it kind of connected the dots with that. So
You're not, but
I think that hits on one important thing, that like everything that you're saying is very logical, and that's like how all of us operate. We're all very logical, but women aren't like that. They're not like that. Madise can attest to it. He's married. He's a newlywed. You know what I mean? He's been married for a year now, but he can attest to it. It's like you can tell your wife all you want. Is like, I just want you to tell me what you need, and I'm going to give it, because as a man, we're going to give you whatever you need. But a lot of times they don't even know what they need. Like they don't know. They can't vocalize that. So as logical as, if you try to apply logic to an emotional situation, it's never going to hit right. It's never going to hit the same. And I think sometimes you're laying it on thinking, you're saying, oh man, just communicate with me. Tell me this and da 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 da. And that's not what they need. They need you to actually just sit with them. They don't need logic. They need you to just be with them.
it's funny you say that, because
be
what
emotional, listen to them.
It might be you problem, man. It might just be you. I don't know.
but
He's toxic.
it is funny. It is funny you say that, because my ex, she's a very great girl. One thing that she said she constantly needed was reassurance.
Fuck! That's it! Oh, shit! Say it again for the chat.
Reassurance.
God damn it.
And this kind of goes back to what I told you, advice I told you of, you know, I'm never going to let another person make me feel some type of way about myself. So, like, with her being like, I constantly need you to reassure me day after day after day after day. By me doing that, all I am doing is putting a Band-Aid on this issue. Because the issue is the way you feel about yourself. Because I can go every single day and tell you that you're the most beautiful girl, and truly mean it. Tell you that you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. But if you don't feel it yourself, it's never going to solve that issue. And that was a problem, where it was like day after day, I'm like, you tell me if I do this, you'll be fine. But I'm doing it day after day, and you're still not fine.
I think it goes deeper than just reassurance. And I think when it comes to reassurance, obviously everyone's different. But I think some women, when it comes to reassurance, they just need to know that it's safe. It's a safe place for them to let their guard down and feel comfortable in that you're not going to lead them. And if they show you all the ugly parts, that you're still going to be there. I don't think it's necessarily putting a Band-Aid on it. It's I look at it as a basket. I'm feeding into this basket. I'm pouring into this basket. I'm putting eggs in this basket, and I'm filling this basket up. And eventually, it's going to get full to the point where they don't need as much reassurance. They're still probably going to always need some level of reassurance, but they need to feel safe. Like, okay, this is for real.
How
My
big is the
emotions,
basket you got if it takes 4 years?
brother.
It's a bottomless basket.
Honestly,
Then as he stated earlier,
we
I'm
want- I
putting
think
in
we
and
want
not
women.
getting anything out.
Well,
He said, "How big is this
the
basket?"
return on the investment, is different because specifically to that woman, she could have been dealing with something different. So that's what I'm saying. Reassurance is different in each situation. So I don't know specifically what she was dealing with psychologically, but I can only speak to my own experiences. And I know that from my experience, like I'm always going to have to give some level of reassurance to my significant other, but it's for my situation, it's for that safety and that security. Like, hey, I sometimes just need to be reminded that this is real and that you're here and that you're not going anywhere and this is safe and I'm safe here and I'm protected. And sometimes I get that back, not in the same like security, but I get that in back in other ways. I'll get that back in affection and different love languages and things
for
like
sure.
that. But like again, I can't speak to your situation, but that's what I'm saying from my perspective. I think reassurance, I look at it a little bit differently. I look at it about feeding into that basket because a lot of times women just want to feel safe. And that's why I was saying I wish we had a woman on this call that could to that and be like, yeah, actually, sometimes we just need that reassurance just to feel safe and we can let our guard down. Because that's what I've been told from talking to women is that that's what they need.
And with my situation in particular, you know, we had talked. I asked, you know, what she needed. She told me the reassurance, and I provided that. Right. I don't want everyone to think that I was just a
How did
complete
you
fucking
provide it?
asshole. In the ways that you know she looked, you know, like or that she wanted.
Yeah, that's
You
what
know,
it is. What she wanted, what she needed, not versus like how. Because a lot of times, me and Shauni talked about in the last one is a lot of times we end up they say, "Oh, I need reassurance," but they don't necessarily identify that or define it, and we give them reassurance in the way that we think our logical brain processes it. We think that's what they need or what they're asking for, and what we should give them. They say, "Oh, you said reassurance. Hey, you look good today," but that may not be what she needed.
Yeah.
It may not be, and she maybe didn't even understand what she needed from the reassurance. She's like, "I think I need reassurance," but then you're giving her something, and you're like, "Why is this not working? Why is this not working?" So I'm giving you reassurance, but it's not the type of reassurance that she needed. Maybe it's not. Maybe she needed some more. Maybe you just never know. It's just it's kind of hard.
Sure.
It's kind of hard to put.
And for us, where it came to a point where, you know, as I stated, you know, I sought out therapy for, you know, my problems that I needed to work on. And, you know, we both started noticing that, like, you know, I asked what type of reassurance you needed or you wanted, like what helps, you know, what do you need and whatnot, and would provide that. But it seemed like it was growing into like a much bigger issue and whatnot that I mentioned, like, hey, like, since I'm seeing therapy and I'm talking to someone, like, do you think like you'd be okay with you talking to someone, right?
Yeah.
If I'm going to take the steps that I need to fix myself or, you know, to make myself whole, like, do you think you should do the same? And she didn't want to go.
Yeah. And to bring it full circle, Shauni, you just got to reassure them a little bit more. You got to sit with them, start thinking with your dick, be a little bit more emotional, less.
All right. No. We're gonna clarify this shit. Ask these two right here. I was not making any sexual moves. Like, you even know the fucking situation. No.
Wait, you hold on. You did say the martini thing.
What was the martini thing?
The whole martini get in betweeny thing. You did say that in front of her.
Martini get in betweeny?
Yeah, you said that on the phone call with me.
Damn.
You said that on the phone call when she was in the car with you.
I said I'm lean and I'm mean and I'm trying to get in between. Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
But that's just that's okay. If it ain't snowing,
I ain't going.
exactly.
No.
But no, but real shit though. I didn't even listen. I didn't even think with the ding-a-ling. I was in my own room on the 6th floor. I did things I think by textbook. Like I was in my own space. I got told to come back.
Well, not to get too much and putting you in the hot seat, Shauni, because it's not your not your day for the hot seat. But every day I put this nigga in. But no, but seriously, it may boil down to, because I was telling you about like when I was a child. I thought of childish things. I had childish ways. I had childish behavior. Those are things that I had as a child. And I think you've been single for so long, and like you said, from that relationship with Nicole that you really loved, I think you've been trying to find something like that. But you've been going into these situations a lot of times with your guard up, or going into these situations as single, Shawnee, and not really changing your approach to the situation. Like CJ said, same playbook, same plays, and you're taking that into these new situations, and you're not really changing kind of like your approach. Because if I want to attract a wife, then I need to be presenting a husband style aura, like I'm ready for those challenges to attract that kind of woman that I want, versus if I'm still going in there and I got the crop tops and hey, I might be giving off something different.
I hear you, but that's not. I hear you, but that's not what happened.
No, I don't need you to hear me. I need you to listen.
I'm hearing you and I listen to you, but what you're saying is not what happened with the last 2 girls.
No, and not to keep hitting on that, and because you're right, and I even said that in the last podcast. I feel like you did a lot of things right, and that one I felt like you just got dealt a crap hand. But let's not hit that one too much on the head.
Yeah, we don't want you to get in trouble because ask Madise.
All right,
nigga.
Who?
You and me, nigga. We both
hey, 35, okay?
for 2 weeks for you and 2 months for me. We still there. No, so question. So are men today actually more toxic, or do we think that that's just a buzzword that's getting thrown around more? Or do you think maybe our behaviors are just being highlighted more because of the century we're in with technology and social media and things like that?
I think it's a buzzword, but I'm gonna let these two answer.
If you would have asked me yesterday, I probably would have said it was just this generation. But I saw a post on Instagram and it was talking about Joe, right? We all know Joe, I Want to Know. And if you go back and listen to so many of Joe's songs, it's him talking about taking another man's girl. And these are the R&B songs that we all grew up and loved.
Hey.
So I think now when I look back and analyze it, I think it might have always been a thing, but just because social media is so prevalent like it is today, that it's highlighted a lot more.
I was definitely gonna say.
Okay, but do we think that's toxic? Do we think it's toxic, or do we think that's just like male nature? We want the biggest, we want the baddest, we want the best, like that competing nature. Like, hey, if you, I always said this, and I meant it. And if you can steal my girl, then she ain't my girl.
My girl.
So if you think you can get it, you can. Hey, go for it. Try it.
Hey, Madise, go ahead before he cut you off to talk about some non-bullshit.
No, I'll just say real quick that it was definitely the social media thing, and then like everyone wanted to be a victim, because being a victim is like the trendy thing to do now. Like everyone wants to have that story. Everyone wants to have the horror story or the war story for relationships, or oh, this guy did this to me, or this person did this to me. I think social media plus the victim mentality ties into the whole like, oh, men are being toxic, or the toxic masculinity thing. Like, it's not okay to not be a man, but it's not okay to be a man at the same time. It plays into a lot of that shit now.
What does toxic mean to you? That's for anyone.
Ooh.
Let's figure this out because I'm tired of everyone saying, "Oh, that's toxic." What do you mean by that's toxic? That you speak your mind and it's something that I don't like about you, that's toxic? Excuse me. But what is toxic to you?
Go on and say it.
I can't wait to ask a female what toxic means to them because it's going to say everything they don't like about a man.
Oh, 100%.
Damn.
See, for me, like, when I think of toxic, right, I think, and this is me personally, right, I think toxic is describing, all of those, bad relationships we grew up hearing about. You know what I mean?
Or witnessing firsthand.
Or witnessing as well, in some people's situations. To me, like, that's what toxic means to me, right? That relationship where, he's cussing her out in public.
Ugh.
He's putting his hands on her.
Ugh.
He's, we get into it. I'm fucking dropping you off on the side of the road right here with no phone. You can find your own way back home type of stuff.
Oh, don't worry. I'll buy her a flight.
Yeah. And then drop her off at the airport 12 hours in advance.
Hey, easy.
But that's when I think of toxic, like those are the type of like relationships or characteristics, not carrot sticks, that I think of.
Carrot sticks are nice too. Some people love carrot sticks.
What's up, Doc? Carrot sticks. You stupid bitch.
I agree. Eat me. No, I agree with you. I think the word toxic, to me, what it means is any behaviors that's not productive, conducive for a relationship. If you're both in it to be in a relationship and you're doing things that single people do, that's kind of toxic. If you're trying to gaslight the other person, toxic. You're trying to manipulate the other person, toxic. If you guys are breaking up and getting back together and breaking up and getting back together, that's toxic. You guys putting your hands on each other, listen, I think that we all should keep our hands to ourselves. But let me pose a question to you. If I tell you to shut the fuck up, you think it's wise for you to keep talking?
I just saw that video yesterday.
No, but I think any behaviors that's not conducive for a relationship, because obviously if you're in a relationship it's because you like the person and you guys see a future with each other and you guys are enjoying each other's company. So I think if that is the goal, then you shouldn't be doing things that's contrary or that contradicts that.
Hello.
We got people in the group now. Look at that.
Hey,
Allison! All right, so welcome to the podcast. Hold up. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Shauни's bestie. My name is Allison. I've known Shauni for almost 2 years now.
You said bestie? Hey, you gotta. There's a line. There's a list.
I was like, damn, that's crazy. You got all knocked off the list.
Back of the bus, actually.
No, I better be. I'm at the front of the bus. I better be.
You said 2 years.
Toxic.
Yes. 2 years.
She's driving the bus.
Oh, there we go. I'm driving the bus. I can dig that.
All right, so
OTS grad.
welcome to the podcast, Mershani's Chronicles. Get to know the close circle. So, Allison, please introduce yourself. Let the chat know who you are, and we will get into the question.
Okay. So, hi, everyone. I am Allison, known Shauni for about 2 years, and he is one of my closest friends.
Let's go.
All right, shoot.
The question was, are today's men more toxic, or do we think it's more of a buzzword, or maybe that because of the era that we live in with social media, that the same characteristics are just being highlighted more and being labeled
that word is over y'all's
toxic.
eyes.
Okay, so the first question I have for you guys to be able to answer this is define toxic.
No, that's for you to define, because we all defined it. We defined what we thought toxic meant. So what do you think toxic mean? And then answer that question.
Ooh, it depends on the context for me. Toxic. Let me see.
when it comes to a relationship?
Yeah, so we all have an ideal of how relationships are expected to work and how they should work, right? So from a cultural framework, I think toxic would be anything that disrupts that, that just leads to chaos or broken relationships, anything that's detrimental and almost purposely done for that impact.
On the spot.
Webster's Dictionary.
ChatGPT.
Hey,
All right.
Oxford of the house. Okay, so now we define what toxic means to you and Oxford and Webster, but are men today more toxic, or is that just a buzzword, or is that social media highlighting?
I honestly don't think men today are more toxic. I think that men have different expectations in our society, right? In the past, it was pretty simple. Men were providers. Women took care of their husbands. And so we've switched roles completely. And so the things that women now believe are toxic to men is, in a way, them just trying to cope with that transition. Does that make sense?
Yeah. To expound on that, though,
Damn.
What are men with this new transition, right?
Okay.
What are we supposed to provide now?
Well, what does
Flights.
the person you're with want you to provide? It's different for every relationship. For example, my relationship is not a super traditional relationship. My husband would prefer I stay at home, but I'm not happy doing that. So for my husband to provide me what I want, instead of being simply a provider, I want a companion, right? So it's going to be different each relationship for a man not to be toxic and to provide what his woman wants, or man.
I got a question for you.
Specifically for yours, when you say companion, though, like break that down. Like what?
Okay.
What is he providing for you as a companion?
Okay, this is kind of a deep question.
To...
I recently had a conversation with someone about this, so that's interesting.
I'm gonna step out for like a few minutes. I'll be back. I'll keep going.
So, companion, I want, like, what I personally want in my life is someone to walk through life with me, walk beside me through life, to support me, for us both to support ourselves, support our dreams, support our ambitions. And not only that, but also to go do things together, to go on thrill rides, to go, just see what all life has to offer. A lot of people in their relationships, they don't really do that with the person that they're with, right? They depend on friends and people that are kind of different, may have different desires in themselves, because a lot of times in relationships, that man-woman or man-man and woman-woman relationship, they just have different dynamics and people are so different. I want to have similar things in common with the person that I'm with so I can live life with that person.
I have a question for you. So the question is, what is one thing women say they want in a partner that you think deep down most women actually struggle to handle once they get it?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think a powerful man.
Oh! Let's fucking go!
Ooh.
Elaborate.
You gotta
Every woman wants this powerful man, to someone that can take care of them and just... I don't even know. I don't want to go into it right now. So
no, you can't go into it while
you
this...
want someone that's able to take charge, right? But let's be real. Like, I don't want to be dominated. Like, no. In context, being a powerful man and wanting that powerful man and actually having a powerful man means two completely different things.
I'm glad you said that while the small fry left, because he would be really upset that you said powerful man, because Buddy can barely lift 3 bags of groceries in one trip.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, but I'm glad we got you on here. Sorry, it's very ad hoc, but Courtney was supposed to get on here, but obviously she's doing, Courtney things, big boss woman shit. She's an editor or a publicist, so she's busy doing her thing right now. But I definitely want to try to get you and Courtney on another one with Diante and I and just really just dive into the women's side of what you guys think. Because, again, right, let me give you guys some background on Allison. Allison and I went to OTS, Officer Training School, for those who don't know what OTS stands for. We didn't even talk, really, during Officer Training School because she was pretty much in her fucking bedroom, her dorm room, like the first 2 weeks because she was sick. But after we graduated... We went up to Colorado for flight training, and then that's when her and I actually were able to connect, bond. And truthfully, she was my right-hand woman when it came to Hinge. We had the Hinge up. She was vetting through all of my stuff. I'd go on dates. I give her the back brief. But she's been with me for the last 2 years and just kind of, keeping me through my lane. The playbook that you talk about when it comes to dating, she's actually been there through a lot of it. Except for the last two ones, I didn't really tell her about those.
Calls.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said, damn, so she couldn't even help you either. Lost calls. Damn.
I may have contributed a little bit to Shauna's toxicness at times.
Why are you gay?
What
Why
are you gay?
What was that question we asked earlier about reassurance? And we were needing the woman perspective from it, because my stance was that reassurance is something that you just kind of need to keep reassuring your partner sometimes and keep
our big powerful man is back.
Hey, welcome back. And CJ was saying that in his situation specifically, that he was reassuring his partner, but it wasn't going anywhere. He felt like he was just putting a Band-Aid on it. And I was saying that a lot of times I feel like women need reassurance so they can feel safe in that space, so they can feel comfortable. And so we wanted your perspective to expound on that a little bit more.
Absolutely. So reassurance is all about what it looks like to them. It can be so different from person to person. And a lot of people can verbalize reassurance, but actions speak a lot louder than words to me. So for that reassurance, I don't need to just hear things. I need to see it in action.
Yeah. Nice.
See, that's one thing, though. I will say, though, you say you have to show the action. What does that action look like to you? Because we can try to show you, but it's not good enough to your standard, right? But even though it's the best on our end, it may not be good enough for you. So then it now appears that we're not trying at all.
That's why communication is so important, right? You need to communicate that with your partner. Yeah.
Each partner is going to be different. So whoever you're with, you got to talk to them and figure out what they need to see, what they need to feel like they're getting the reassurance and the support that they need. You can't love them in the way that you want to love. You got to love them in the way that they want to be loved. You got to support them in the way they want to be supported, not how you think to support.
Yes. Those words could have came out of my own mouth.
Took me 35 years to get to that point, y'all. Okay. Well, what's the next question, Shauni? Because we got a woman in here, but our time is running low. So let's get down to the last couple questions. Let's wrap this up. You talked about specifically how men are shifting. Back in the day, our roles were clearly defined. We provided a certain level of protection and support and house, and we provided financially and all that protection. And women, they provided, can't say that, don't cancel me, but babies, kitchen, cleaning, making a house into a home, all of those things. Well, now that we're shifting into this new era, from the male perspective, it seems like from our perspective, we're seeing a lot of women say they want that powerful man, as you mentioned. They want some of those traditional values, but we can't expect traditional roles from them. But they want us to still uphold some of those. Again, each relationship is different, but they want us to uphold some of those traditional values in a man, but not also, they don't want to hold up their end and bring the traditional roles that, normally comes with that.
Well, my brain automatically flips that and say, well, hey, you want the same thing, right? You want a woman to be doing the traditional things, but yet you want her to also have to take care of a child and go outside the house and work, right? So you don't want to abide to some of those rules as well. So I kind of look at it both ways. It's all about perspective.
It's just like a woman to flip it and flip it right back into your face. But what if I'm not asking that? You know what I'm saying? So again, a lot of us, like, we're all military, minus one. I'm TAC P. He's TAC P. He was a TAC P, not anymore, and he's a law enforcement officer. I can speak for myself. I can provide for my spouse to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
So I don't need her. But as you hinted to earlier, you want to be outside the house. you want to do those things. So how is it that we make that transition? And that's kind of what I was trying to get you to hit on before is what is that new role for men? Because what we're getting told is we still want you to protect, we still want you to provide a little bit, we still want you to support us, we still need that connection and those warm and fuzzies, but also don't expect me to make you a plate of food. Don't expect me to clean for you. Don't expect me to push out babies because I may not want babies, and I'm still going to go chase my career goals. So it's like, what is it that we're supposed to expect from you if you're still expecting things from us?
Well, that's the thing. Whenever, like, back up, 10, 15 years, I don't know if you're married or how long you've been married, but that's why it's so important that the person that you end up being with and that you choose, you have clear communication, you understand what you want, because yes, like when you're in a relationship younger, you want your needs met, but to truly be with someone and be happy and for it to last, you also need to be able to make them happy and give each other what you need.
Hey, just real quick, can you expound on your background? Didn't you do psychology?
Correct. So I have a bachelor's and a master's in psychology. I practiced for 5 years. Then I took 4 to 5 years off to have babies when my husband was going through pilot training, which, that was a choice I made. Was I 100% happy with it? No, but I kind of was in that type of situation. I love my children. I would never change anything for them. But it was not the happiest time of my life. That being said, I went back to work 7 years ago, and for 5 years I worked in a healthcare company. I was called utilization management, and it was a way for me to get back into the field of psychology without practicing while maintaining a leadership type of position.
We needed her on here at the start.
I told you. Hey, big ups. Big ups from the chat, y'all. Big ups.
So earlier you missed it. I said characteristics and characteristics. I'm from Kentucky, so the way I pronounce things,
I will never say it again differently.
I said call, and they heard car.
No, he said car. Everyone in this car.
Listen. And if we want to keep talking about it, y'all can all meet me in the parking lot. Let's run it.
Is that because you're already in the car?
There's the word right there. Run it.
Hey, I'll meet you in the parking lot, but back to my insecurity, I didn't buy this Glock for no reason, so.
Yeah. Speaking of insecurity.
You're gonna need all them bullets.
Speaking of insecurity, Allison, please share with the chat and the viewers that are, that are here today, what is an insecurity or something about your character that you believe has an interference with your current, relationship or friendships?
Ooh, that's hard. That's tough.
Yeah, ask Madise. He took like forever to answer this word.
Ask who? Ask Madise?
Medea.
Who's Medea? Is Tyler Perry here?
Madise?
Gambling Medeas.
Stupid ass boy.
So inferiority, is that what the word you utilized?
Inferiority?
What word did you utilize? Let's back up.
Insecurity.
Him?
Insecurity. Okay.
You heard characteristics and carrot sticks. Parking lots.
His answer was kind of inferior. That's why I stopped myself.
What was the word?
That's why I stopped myself.
Stupid.
So let's see. Insecurity. Let me think on that. That's kind of tough. So it's taken me a long time to be very comfortable with who I am. And just so you guys have a bit more perspective on myself, I am older. When I turned 35, I wanted to do 4 things before I turned 40. And one of those things was that I wanted to be truly authentic to myself. I wanted to be able to express who I was at every aspect of my life, whether that be professionally, personally, period, dot. And through then, I wanted to make sure I also had authentic friends, because I think we all get kind of stuck in this trap where we're around people, where people date people simply because you don't want to be alone and you settle, right? Mm-hmm. So through the last few years, I have really worked on who I am and being happy for myself, and just always being true to myself and never having to make excuses for not being myself. Mm. So with that, I am very confident with who I am as a person, simply because I don't ever want to change for someone. And one thing that I am working on right now that kind of goes in with that, with the question you asked, is that I'm trying to find that true happiness within myself, because, Shauni knows me. I've never done anything wrong in my life, right? He was making fun of me yesterday, saying, I shouldn't say that way, but no, I tend to always follow the rules. I never do anything outside the norm. I always stay in the box.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts. Oh my God.
And I'm trying to do things more that are outside that box that lead to a higher level of happiness, and that I'm actually doing things for myself for once rather than doing things for other people. So, to answer your question,
wrap it up,
there you go.
So the insecurity would be
being authentic.
Being authentic and doing things for me, not just to doing things for me instead of doing it for other people.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
One more question for the group. Something we do almost at the end of every podcast or every session is, what is your purpose in this world? Starting with Madise. Medea.
You fucking illiterate fuck.
That's a deep question that I've not really thought about.
Are you not used to getting deep? Okay, continue.
All right, 15 minutes. Calm down. All right, at least I can make the timer extend past the numbers on the clock, all right?
God bless.
If you're trying to get spicy, we'll do that.
Calm down, Jamal. No need to pull out the 9.
Fuck you.
Man, I honestly have never really thought about that, but just as like a, I guess, on the surface answers, like, I guess just trying to, one, is always trying to find my purpose and then define what that means to myself and sticking to it. I've never really had that, like I said, sat down and thought about my purposes, but you're always, I guess, the whole purpose of us all being here is trying to find what that is, right? You're also trying to like be better, learn from your mistakes, you know, things of that nature. So I guess it's always, right, really trying to find your purpose and stick to it and make it work for you.
We all know Shauni's purpose.
What's my purpose? Fuck you. What is it?
It ain't snowing, it ain't going.
No.
No, Shauni took mine. The first time that we really hung out.
Hang out? Wow, everyone's just fucked up today.
Words are hard.
It's so hot. I'm sitting in my car sweating.
Listen, words are hard.
No, that was one of the first things that Shauni ever asked me what my purpose was. And I think it's kind of weird because I kind of fired it off immediately. And we had a very similar purpose in life, which I think is one reason why that him and I are so close. We both want to make the world a better place. And I think that personally my purpose is if I leave this earth better than how I arrived, my purpose has been met.
I'm never leaving this fucking earth, but my purpose is to share my influence and positivity around the ones that are close proximity to myself and always be better than the day I was before.
Love it.
CJ? No, stop it. Stop it. No, stop it. You're going to make me fucking dance. Yeah. Anyway.
No. What is my purpose in life? I think my purpose is,
Yes.
Yes. I think my purpose is to, or something that I strive to do. We'll go with that because I don't think I've fully defined personally what my purpose is. But one thing that I strive to do is to be the best friend to those closest to me that I possibly can be. And to the point that they know that they never have to deal with something by themselves. That no matter what, I'm always here for them to, you know, as I mentioned it earlier, like Atlas, like I view myself as Atlas. So allow me to help you share that burden or to take on those problems that you don't have to do it by yourself. So yeah.
He's not fucking lying, and I'm glad he fucking said that because this is another reason why he's really close to me as well as you guys. When I told him that a certain somebody almost gave me herpes,
oh my gosh,
he was there. I mean, all of you guys were there and cooked me for it, but
yeah,
literally.
But that's important. I think most importantly, though, like to take away from this is that also applies to you, big guy. That applies to you too. You know what I mean? Like lean on your friends. Don't carry the load by yourself. Just like you're here to hold everyone else up, and people can lean on you. Allow yourself to lean on other people as well.
Just don't lean on Madise. Don't lean on Madise. You might pancake his ass. He might not be able to hold you up, dude.
Like he can't hold a rifle on a door for 45 minutes.
Hey, I got you, dog. The rifle's there. The rifle's there, at least.
Oh, shit.
I'm always locked and loaded, bro.
Cool.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a great one. Like we said, we're gonna have you guys come back at some point here and there to add perspectives and help, add value and context as we continue this journey of Shauni Chronicles. So, thank you guys for coming.
Yes, sir.